Hey, I wanted to bring to you a story that Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire broke yesterday. And this story concerns Vanderbilt University Medical Center and what they're doing to the kids there. These gender affirming operations that they're committing. And just how scary this stuff really is, and what ages they're doing these operations at, and other procedures like hormone therapy and hormone blockers. But I'm going to show you in a minute a couple of videos. One is a Dr. Shane Taylor, and Dr. Taylor is a doctor with Vanderbilt University Medical Center, and she details just how much money they make off some of these operations, like a phalloplasty, like making a penis out of skin from someone's arm or leg, with follow-up appointments and consultations and everything else, and the operation itself. They expect to get about $100,000 from this kind of stuff. And again, we got to realize, follow the money. Where's the money? And I think that kind of gives you an insight into why this stuff is becoming as popular as it is. And we have to understand this. And the second video is a Dr. Clayton, and she is also a doctor with Vanderbilt University Medical Center. And that video with her in it is from 3 years ago, 2019. But she is talking about if any of these doctors that work for the university or are coming to work for the university, if they object on religious or moral grounds to what's going on, they are being asked to leave. They don't want you. They don't want you here. So again, we've got to really open our eyes to what's happening, and what ages are happening at. I think in Vanderbilt, age 13, you can get hormone blockers and hormone therapy. And at age 16, you can get a double mastectomy. Imagine a double mastectomy, cutting the breast off a perfectly healthy 16-year-old girl. You can't go back on this stuff. You can't turn around and go back. And to me, this is what is so dangerous. They're abusing our kids. This is child abuse, plain and simple. They're abusing our kids, and they're telling us to sit down and shut our mouths. Don't say a thing. Don't say anything. You shouldn't object to this. And if you object in any way, you're transphobic. You shouldn't object. And it's time that we stood up and we said, okay, look, this is 100% bullshit. And we're not going to sit there and let you abuse our kids. Not going to do it. And anyways, as of today, I think, or as of yesterday, after it aired, after the show aired, the governor of Virginia or the governor of Tennessee, and I want to say his name is Bill Lee, I think his name is, but you guys can look that up. But I think it's Bill Lee. Ordered an investigation to be launched into Vanderbilt University, and apparently they have taken things in the last 24 hours off their website. They have shut down part of their website with all this information on it. And in the last 24 hours, which is interesting. But yeah, I mean, and also what's really scary to me is they have trans activists that are employed by the hospital to come in and sit with these doctors when they're consulting the patients, to kind of guide them in the direction and make sure they're affirming what they feel needs to be affirmed. And again, of course, guys, they're not going to turn away from this stuff because it's a cash cow. They make way too much money to walk away from this kind of stuff. And I think that's really what we need to understand, the money. Anyways, I'm going to put the 2 videos up here in a second, and you guys can let me know what you think. Okay, right here is a good doctor, Shane Taylor, from the University of Vanderbilt Medical Center, talking about just how profitable these operations are. And she's also talking about how insurance companies have to pay for them now. But yeah, I'm going to put this up, and you can watch this, and again, let me know what you think. It's to me, this stuff is just absolutely appalling. But I'm going to enlarge this and play it for you.
Starting in January 1st of 2017, according to the Affordable Care Act, insurance carriers are mandated to cover medical expenses for trans folks. Some of our UMC financial folks in October of 2016, starting a couple of years ago, put down some costs of how much money we think each patient would bring in. And this is only including top surgery. This isn't including any bottom surgery. And it's a lot of money. These surgeries make a lot of money. So female to male chest reconstruction could bring in $40,000. A patient just on routine hormone treatment, who I'm only seeing a few times a year, can bring in several $1,000s because that requires a lot of visits and labs. It actually makes money for the hospital. Now, these I got from the internet, but it's from the Philadelphia Center for Transgender Surgery, which does a lot of surgery for patients. I just want to give you an idea of how much these bottom surgeries are making. And I think this has to be an underestimate. This is for a vaginoplasty. They're saying they're quoting roughly around $20,000 for a vaginoplasty, but that doesn't include your hospital stay. That doesn't include your post-op visits. That doesn't include your anesthesia, your OR. So I would think that this has to be a gross underestimate. I think that's just like the surgeon's piece of it, which anybody who's ever been in the hospital knows that that's like 10% of it. And then the female to male bottom surgeries, these are huge money makers. Again, I think this has to be an underestimate that they're quoting around $20,000 for a phalloplasty. There's been different things that I've read that said it could be up to $100,000. Dr. Winokur, who's our surgeon, said that there's entire clinics where the entire clinic is supported just by their phalloplasties. And that is like...
In 2019, Dr. Ellen Clayton, in another lecture, anticipated that there would be other doctors that would refuse to do the operations on these kids, that would have moral objections to doing so. So she spoke, clearly articulating that the university would not be going for this, the medical center would not be going for this. And if you have objections, you should seek employment elsewhere. And, that's fine. But, I don't believe that is covered under, if you have religious objections to things, I think the law is established on that. They can, you can abstain from doing something that you feel is objectionable to your religious beliefs. But the fact of the matter is that doctors that raise a red flag and say, I don't know if I want to do this. This does not appear to be something that we should be doing. She tells them, Dr. Ellen Clayton is her name. This was about 3 years ago. She said they should seek employment elsewhere.
You have to realize that that is problematic. You are doing something to another person, and you are not paying the cost for your belief. I think that is a real, I think that's a real issue. So I think, so yes, Vanderbilt, if someone has a objection to participating in this sort of surgery, it probably has to accommodate you to the extent that maybe you can find another person who can do your job, who doesn't have an objection, other things of that nature. But I just want you to take home that saying that you're not going to do something because of your conscientious, because of your religious beliefs, is not without consequences. And it should not be without consequences. And I just want to put that out there. We are given enormous. If you don't want to do this kind of work, don't work at Vanderbilt.
You son of a.